Hi, welcome to 611, and I am the instructor on record. My name is Patrick McKnight, and during this video, I'm going to go over the syllabus and the course in general to provide you a little bit of an overview, some details about how grading takes place, required materials that you need to read, some optional things, and so you can get a look at who I am. And during the lecture, I'll tell you more about me and I'll ask about you because I like to tailor the class to all the students. So every semester is different based upon the students that are enrolled. And I like to get specific examples, things that you're interested in. So without further ado, let me go over to the syllabus. The syllabus is online and you can find all of the required information on this Google site. And I am going to make sure that everybody can follow along. This is editable as I need to update it throughout the semester. I do. So here what we have is this is the syllabus on this one page, and you can see this is me, Patrick McKnight. My TA for this semester is Melissa Smith, but every semester it will be different. So please go to this website and things will be different in terms of office hours when we meet. This semester we meet Wednesdays from 1:30 to 4:10, and we're in Innovation Hall 317. The course overview, really simple. Psych 611 is at George Mason is the first semester of a 2-semester sequence. It used to be that way. This is an introductory course. 612 is now somewhat being de-emphasized in many of the programs, but this is the key requirement for all subsequent classes. This is, for many of you, going to be a review of undergraduate material. What I hope to press you on from this class is so that you can principally apply some pretty basic statistical procedures. And I'll tell you a little bit more about principal applications in part 2 of lecture 1. So the course prerequisites of this is that you have some familiarity with this material. It doesn't mean that you have to remember it all. It just means that you have some recognition. Oh, I remember, I've heard about a mean, standard deviation, things like that. As long as you've remembered some of it and you can recognize it, you'll be fine. This is not a math course. This is a language course. Okay, think of it as like Italian. For those of you who are horrible at languages like me, it takes a little bit more time, but bear with me. I'm going to teach you the language in a slow, deliberate way. And I think what you're going to find is this is a very refreshing way of understanding statistics. The prerequisites, again, are very simple. So please don't be really concerned about this course. Come excited to learn statistics in a new way. We have a lot of reading material. This is a reading heavy class. It's a thinking heavy class, and it's a lot of application and it's a lot of practice. So whatever you bring to the table, you'll just get more of it and you'll get better as you practice more of this. The lecture is tied with the lab so that we work together. In this case, Melissa is my TA. She and I will work together closely to monitor everybody in the lab, and I keep an eye out for everybody in the lecture to make sure that you're asking questions that communicate to me that you're really doing as much as you can to get the most out of this class. The reading material are simple. There's required and optional. In terms of the required, we have 4 books. Please buy them. Buy them now. Hopefully you have them and you've already started reading them, crossing my fingers. Then we have optional textbooks. There's Bruning and Kintz, you have to pay for that, and Vickers, you'd have to pay for that. The StatSoft book is an electronic, online, and free resource, and I have links to it throughout the below that you'll find very useful. So take advantage of the optional textbooks, especially if you think that you're going to have some long-term interest in quantitative methods, which is something that I will encourage all of you guys to have. The other 2 things that I would recommend are Abelson and Van Bell, especially if you have any quantitative interest. Please buy them and read them. You will find that they are absolutely phenomenal books for background for the material that we're going to talk about. Okay, finally, there are additional readings to the optional material. And these additional readings are readings that if you choose to get an A in the class, you must read these, okay? And you must read them all for these modules. Please, please, please read them. At least give it a try. If you find that you're not interested or too busy, I understand. I don't force everybody to get an A in my class, but I encourage you to at least give it a go. So these additional readings are things that are required in order to get an A in the class, okay? I'll tell you a little bit more about that when I describe modules. In terms of grading, grading is very simple. You complete 3 modules. The 3 modules are graded on a ternary scale. 0, you do not get credit, which is bad. I normally don't give zeros. I stop you before, and these modules are done in person, so I get to see you and I get to see what you know right away, and I'll usually tell you, no, stop. If you get a 0, you're not going to get a 0. I'm going to stop you. But if you continue to press on and say, no, I want to finish this, I will give you a 0. I hate to do it, but so 0 means you don't pass. And you get to retake 1 module every semester. Okay, a 1 is that you successfully complete the module, and you'll see about these checklists below. As long as you cover everything, you get a 1. If you integrate these additional readings seamlessly, you get a 2. If you get 3 2s throughout the course, you get an A. So it's up to you. You get control over your grade simply by effort and attention to optional materials. The modules are divided by the course material. We have module 1, which is introductory data analysis. And don't worry about all these details because I'm going to go over these in class before each module. Just some highlights though. Anything that has an H in it is by hand. So you'll have to differentiate scales by hand. And anything with an SW is by software. Anything else that doesn't have an H or an SW is something that you just do orally. So you explain it, okay? These are designed to be a checklist. So please print them out if need be and organize your module performance accordingly. During lab, you're going to be practicing all of this. So you will have lots of practice for each one of these modules in lab, and you'll see how I do it perfectly, imperfectly in front of you before each module. So I demonstrate modules and I will record them, but please do not try to follow what I do by rote memorization, because what I do is oftentimes, well, as I said, perfectly imperfect. So it's not going to get you a 1, and it certainly won't give you a 2. Okay, I try to make mistakes deliberately so that you guys can sit there and, I don't know, throw fruit and vegetables at me and criticize what I'm doing, because you're going to learn more. Okay, all right. Literature review. If you're a doctoral student or interested in pursuing a doctoral degree, you must write a literature review. That's due to your advisors no later than December 1st, because I need grades from them no later than December 12th. Okay. Human subjects training is required by the department. You must go on online and finish or successfully complete the city course, and simply send me the date that you completed it. Don't send me the whole printout or anything like that. I don't need to know it. I just need your name and the date that you completed it. The grading, as I said, is graded on 3 levels. You get a C if you don't successfully complete all 3 modules. You get a B if you get 3 1s or some combination of 1s and 2s. And you get an A if you get 3 2s. That's it. Very simple, but you're in charge of that. Lecture format, pretty simple. 3 40-minute segments. The first segment is a cursory summary of the assigned reading. And when I say cursory, I mean cursory. If you haven't read it, you probably won't be able to follow. And worse, the second 40-minute segment is really aspects that are not explicitly covered, but really important for your full appreciation and understanding of the material. So if you don't read beforehand, both the first 40 minutes are not going to be sufficient, and the second 40 minutes, you're going to be lost. The third 40-minute segment has to do with kind of advanced material, and it's optional. If you're really pressed for time, if you have childcare or you have to get back to your job, you don't care about this advanced material, you may go. And that's the way I set up the class, so that you're not pressed into service if you're not interested. I don't pay attention to anything of what's going on. If you choose to leave, great. No, I don't hold any grudges about that. I understand everybody's life impinges upon them in different ways. Okay, one thing about the lecture that I'll tell you is I expect you all to print out my lecture notes and bring them to class so that you may take notes on my notes. And there's a link here, Research on Learning. You please read that. The Research on Learning seems like it's pretty straightforward now. The more you write and the more you listen and write, the better encoding and retrieval of the material compared to those who type on your computer. So if you bring your computer, I think what you'll find is you're distracted by it easily. There's a fair amount of information now in the literature about disruptions and interruptions, and you really don't want to be disrupted by Facebook and things like that. I don't enforce this. It's just an encouragement. Okay, I know during my lectures, I know I have to compete against all these different distractions, and I welcome the competition. If you really want to get the most out of this class, print my notes out, bring them to class, just bring the notes, scribble notes down, ask questions, ask me to reiterate things during class. You'll get a lot more out of the class than just sitting there and typing on your computer. The lab format follows the class. So whatever I'm talking about in class, my TA will cover. He or she will not teach. In this case, it's she. She will not teach during lab. Lab will have assignments that follow or closely follow the material that we have in the lecture. Okay, so don't go to the lab thinking that you're just going to be sitting there being lectured to. The lab is your time to exercise the material that you've learned. The following two pieces are kind of the perfunctory material that we have to put in here. Academic honesty. I don't really worry too much about this because you have to do these modules in person. You get 15 minutes to show me what you know. And if you can't really convince me in 15 minutes that you know this stuff, you probably don't know it and you can't cheat. So it's pretty obvious that I know what you know and what you don't know. But when in doubt, don't cheat. You just cheat yourself. Disability accommodations. I'm more than happy to accommodate any disability. Please go through the Disability Resource Center. All the contact information is there. You need to go through that first before we make any arrangements. But even still, if you do have certain things that I need to know about or that would help me help you, please let me know. Okay, I'm a very strong student advocate, and I am here to help you help yourself. The final part of the syllabus is our tentative schedule. I say it's tentative because there are times in which we get bogged down in certain materials, and I don't want to progress unless everybody understands what's going on. And it doesn't mean like every last person, but I try to tie examples of what I'm teaching into your interests, and sometimes I just talk for too long. And in those cases, I'll cut things out, things that I don't think are all that necessary. And because of that, this is just tentative. But for now, you can treat it as this is what's going to happen. Start planning your semester accordingly. There are instances in which you have to read entire books. Like this, Carmenese and Zeller is an entire book. You have to read it by 9:23. Probably a good idea to get through it. These are optional books like Bruning and Kent's. Probably a good idea if you had it to skim it, not reading it. There are links here for, this is the StatSoft online free book. So make use of these. In addition, I put my lecture notes here, and then there will be video links. Excuse me, there will be video links in this final column. And that's what you should expect. Everything will be completed before the beginning of the semester. So please do make use of this page. This page is a resource for you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email address is up at the top of this page. All right, well, thank you very much for your attention. Appreciate it, and look forward to part 2. Thank you.